Hello out there. It's me, Brianna. You are listening to No Limits, a PlayStation podcast, and today we're going to be chatting about PSVR2 news and more. Welcome back from the intro song, everybody. I just want y'all to know I have now been bullied into dancing to our intro songs.
Yeah,
You're pressured into it.
it's such a bop.
It
Like,
is.
you
It
can't-
really is. I love the songs. It's nothing against the songs. It's just
Uh-huh.
like the audience can't see us. You know what I mean? So I was like,
That's
what's
our
going on
ritual.
here? Yeah, yeah.
I let it bleed over a little bit. Y'all stop
Mhm.
beforehand. I think we all need to start letting it bleed over a little bit.
Can I just
by like
say?
20 seconds.
Can I just say, as someone that rarely gets to hear the No Limits intro, as a part of the recording crew, I hear it every
Yep.
week when I listen. I might like it better than ours, Ethan. I don't know
It
if that's a
slaps.
hot take.
It
Kevin, I
slaps.
didn't want to say it.
It's
You know,
really good.
it's really good.
The video's really good
Are you
too. I
allowed to
think.
say that?
I know.
Should we be saying this, Kevin? I've been keeping this on the DL for a while now.
It's so. Listen, music is a. I think we can all have subjective opinions on music, but
Right.
that intro slaps. Okay, I love
It
the
really
Project.
does.
I love the Project X Talk
Oh, yeah,
intro.
love it.
Obviously,
It's a bop too.
as the co-hosts over there, but this one it hits different. You know what I'm
wild.
saying?
Absolutely. So the voices you are hearing today, we have Ethan, also known as Sam's stunt double for
Yes.
some reason. Terrible British accent, but some reason you've
do
made
it.
it into this position. Just kidding. And then we have another stunt double today, Kevin, being a stunt double for Taylor.
We like nothing alike. As someone that just saw
Well-
Taylor in real life,
He said that with some vitriol. You hear that in his voice? I like.
I heard
nothing
that,
like
but I
Taylor.
also was just thinking, like, Ethan looks nothing like Sam either.
That's
So,
true.
like,
You think I look anything like Sam? I look like if I ate Sam.
oh my god.
oh my god.
But yeah, I met
Okay.
Taylor in real life this weekend. It was
I
a
know
great
that
time.
was so crazy.
Mhm.
We'll talk about that in just a half a second. Let me get
We
through
will.
this whole rigmarole, and then I will let you go off for a little bit.
Oh yeah.
Okay, so remember, you can find the video version of this podcast over at youtube.com/SaveTheGameMedia every Tuesday. While you are over there, please make sure to subscribe to the channel. If you would rather listen to audio, we are on all of your favorite audio services, podcast services. And we would love if you would leave us a review. It helps us grow, and we love any feedback. If you want to support and get early access to all of Save the Game Media content, head over to patreon.com/SaveTheGameMedia and choose the tier that works best for you. And we have a list of our current patrons, which is getting longer, it feels like every day. We have Bucky Blue, Hopple, Alpaca Tom, SAZ, me, my mom, my brother, my wife, Aman, Anna Hudak, Nikolai at Night, Cypher Primus, Brendan Myers, Marcus O'Neill, and Always Be. Please go to patreon.com/SaveTheGameMedia to check it out. You can also check out our YouTube, like on our YouTube, and interact with us in the Discord. The links are all going to be in the show notes. And one last thing we wanted to add on here is Extra Life was this last weekend with Save the Game Media, Carpool Gaming, and the Trophy Room, and our team raised $9,121 so far, which is a huge amount. So
Crazy.
like that's so much. Which is like it was beyond any of the goals and expectations there. You can still donate to our Extra Life. We do appreciate any additional contributions. The link will still be in the description on that. So please feel free to donate. And we really appreciate everybody that has donated so far. So on that note, Kevin, you were Extra Life with Taylor again, and it was the craziest thing to see you guys in the same photo. Like
yeah.
I was really weirded out.
The first Save the Game Media meetup of two of our crew members in history. The first of many.
It was funny because I was like, Taylor, I've now met you as opposed to Tom, who lives 30 minutes away from me. And I've known Tom for 2 years now, and I just we gotta go get lunch or something. Tom, if you're listening to this, you're busy these days, but yeah. So Extra Life was this weekend. It was wrapped up this morning because we record on a Sunday. I'm here filling in for Taylor because he has a 5-hour drive, and meanwhile I have a hour and a half drive. It's much more manageable for me to come here, especially because I slept for I think like 3.5 hours last night, and then I took a quick hour power nap right before the show. Taylor, on the other hand, he got a full 7-8 hours sleep. So he really, he was safe. He's like, I gotta drive back, okay. But it was such a good time. Absolutely amazing to meet Sean Capri, obviously from Carpool Gaming, and then Joe and Kyle from the trophy room. It was just being together in the same room, like playing games. It was just a different energy. It was electrifying, and I really hope that like next year we can get more the Carpool Gaming team, more of our team there. It was so good. And like you said, as the time of recording, our goal, our money race, it's at $9,121, which we set off with a goal of 5,000. We smashed that within the first hour of campaigning yesterday morning. So then we set a goal of 6,900. We promptly smashed that. Then we set a goal of $9,001, and we smashed that in the last hour of live streaming this morning. Absolutely amazing. If you want, you can still donate, like Bree said, in the link down below. You can win things like the God of War Collector's Edition that we're giving away, the digital edition for Ragnarok as well, a year of Game Pass Ultimate, 1,000 games. We gave away so many games on stream too. So if you missed those, you can still enter for these. And then every $10 you get an entry. And if your name is picked, people will be in contact with you, either Joe, Kyle, Sean. Everything will be sorted out. But all the money goes to charity, helping sick kids. So donate, save lives, win prizes.
And also, I just want to say, like, please enter because Kevin somehow wins everything. So any entries we can get to like lower the chances of Kevin winning more things.
Kevin won the Smash tournament, and what did you get? It was like a 8-bit fighting stick.
I'm glad you brought that up.
Yeah, show that to us. Holy crap!
I may have had
really
it.
Cool.
I may have had it right next to me, waiting for this moment.
Waiting for this moment.
I won the Super Smash Brothers Ultimate Tournament at the Extra Life event, and I won this 8-bit 8-bit arcade stick.
Do you actually use arcade sticks?
I've never used one, but I wanted to win this because I want to try it for more traditional fighters. It only works for Switch and PC without an adapter. So I have some PC fighting games like Persona 4 Golden, Ultimax, and Skullgirls and stuff. Like, so I'm gonna give it a try over there and see if I can. It's gonna take me a while because I've never in my life, but I really wanted to win it.
You weren't in the arcades as a kid playing Street Fighter?
No, I wasn't.
That's crazy.
Me neither.
I'm younger than you when I was in the arcades. Come on now, y'all, step it up.
And I want a headset, a new Turtle Beach headset over there. So
I'm gonna
try that out later. Gonna try that out later. Apparently, bro.
Wow, good stuff.
Yeah, it was great. But I think I only have one entry for the carp. So if I win, I just have really good luck.
Okay,
I have a lot of entries, and I'm hoping to get that collector's edition. I need that thing.
Listen, this was not addressed. This was not addressed in our general chat, but I need to know: can you use this power for other people? Like, if there's something I really want to win, like I'm not going to use this just frivolously, like I just want to win whatever, Kevin, right? But if there's something I really am passionate about and I really want to win something, can I use the Kevin power to win?
This is a newly acquired power, right? So I literally never won things before this year, and now it's like I've won The Last of Us Part 1 remake. I won Gotham Knights. I won the crazy. Some of the other ones I won a gift card, multiple gift cards actually. I got Horizon Forbidden West. So I've won quite a few games this year, but you can't count the arcade stick, okay? I earned that, all right.
Yeah,
I didn't win that I earned that, all right.
I see.
So
to everyone out there listening right now, I need you guys to train for a year because Kevin is not about to go back to back this year. So I need you guys to step up the game because I sure as hell ain't.
We're gonna
I
need
can't do fighters.
we're gonna need some more people, I think.
Was it
Yeah.
tough at least? Like, was there good competition? Or are you gonna brag about it? You gonna be humble about it? What's the temperature? What's the temp on this?
I can be humble and say that
Okay.
the finals, at least for game 2, he caught me off guard with the Pyramithra
Ooh.
switch.
Mhm.
But I did just like pretty much figure him out after that game.
Mhm.
I would not call at least the two that made it the second and third place people, and they know who they are if they're listening. I would
Yeah,
not
you know who
I
you
would not
are.
call them bad. They definitely know how to play the game. We were in an environment where there was heavy delay, except for the
Ooh.
final, like at least 10 seconds between like hitting something. It was ridiculous
How
because
did you even get through it?
bro, we adapted. I don't know. It was painful to play at certain points. It was eating inputs. It was because of the
Wow.
amount of Bluetooth technology, and that like
There's a lot going on in
the
that
Switch
room.
is not designed for that. Okay, that's why we used wired controllers for the final, so it was a more competitive contest. But ultimately, I feel like I deserve to win, and I feel like I was the best player there. Like
Fair enough.
ultimately, so that's fine.
Was that pun intended?
Ultimately.
No, but
Okay.
Let's say it was.
maybe.
Maybe. Okay. Well, I'm really glad that that you had such a great time this weekend. Everybody had such a good time. We were able to raise so much money. That was
Mhm.
honestly so cool. We're just gonna jump through this really quick. Have you guys been playing anything recently?
Kevin, you want to start?
Oh man, I've been talking a lot. What have I been playing? So what did I wrapped up Gotham Knights, which what did I say on Project X Dog? What did I play on Project X Dog?
You liked it.
Yes, I
know that
beat.
much.
Yeah, I beat Gotham Knights. I really enjoyed it. It's a fun. It's fun if you do co-op campaign. And I
Yeah.
will say that I played a little at Extra Life just to show people around me, like because they were like Joe and some people and Taylor. They wanted to see how it performs, and there was a patch to stabilize the frame rate, and it
Oh,
was
really?
Mhm.
much better. I still do think that you need co-op for this game to really be enjoyable.
Hmm.
I went and got my 100% in A Plague Tale Requiem, which
Beautiful.
great game of the year for me so far until probably Wednesday when Ragnarok comes out from
See,
everything
but you
I'm
haven't
hearing.
played Elden
God.
Ring, so I don't know if your vote counts.
I'm not playing Elden Ring. Okay. All right. So like
This is going to be a
you
theme
just let it go. All
for
right.
the years
Yeah.
going forward. Like,
No,
it's
it's
not going to
gonna
stop. It's going to be 2035, and we're going to be like, Kevin, have you played Elden Ring yet?
And I won't.
and it's still gonna be a
Mhm.
fantastic game in 2035.
Absolutely.
I watched some people play Bloodborne this weekend, and I was like,
Mhm.
I would be miserable playing this, but it looks kind of cool.
That's the fun part.
No, that's not the fun part.
The misery about it.
The game I do need to talk about though. That's the game I reviewed for Save the Game
Ooh,
Media.
yep.
The review is on
Mhm.
the channel. The Entropy Center, and this is the main game I was playing over the last week. This game is awesome. We gave away a copy of it at during Extra Life. So Foolish Fuji, I think, got it. Hope she likes it. But this game is fantastic. It is very Portal 2 inspired. So the idea is you wake up as Aria, who is a employee at the Entropy Center, which is a research facility on the moon that basically solves puzzles to generate energy that allows them to rewind time and save the Earth from cataclysmic events. So the Earth keeps like destroying itself, but then they rewind it, send the data, and be like, this is what went wrong this time, so they can prevent it. So they keep stopping Earth's destruction over and over and over again. She is working with her AI companion, Astra, who, if you've played Portal, AI companion, it's very similar. Astra's hilarious. She makes like silly cat jokes. It's absolutely amazing, the dynamic between those two. But the puzzles are just fun. It's a lot of, instead of making portals like in Portal, you move boxes, different types of cubes. So like bridge cubes, jump pad cubes, laser cubes, and you ultimately have to move them to activate switches. but your gun allows you to rewind the position of those cubes. So essentially, you have to train your brain to do the puzzle backwards. Like, okay, I have to start with the cube at the end and move it along the path that where it begins. I'll rewind it to progress through the puzzle and end where I need it to end. Because as soon as you hit that rewind, the cube's going to lift in the air and follow the path you just moved it along. Very awesome puzzles. It gets more complicated with some different mechanics as you go through. It took me 9.5 hours. $25. I would highly recommend this game. I said that in my review. You can go watch that, like I said. But I can't say enough good things about this game. It's one of the best games I've played this year, and I did not expect that, especially from like an indie game, their first game. So shout out to Stubby Games and PlayStack and Evolve PR for giving us the code for that. Really, really awesome.
Awesome. That sounds really cool. It sounds like right up my alley.
You should play it. It's on everything. It's on PlayStation, Xbox, and PC. So
yeah, I will definitely pick it up. Unfortunately, the backlog is intense right now. This time of the year is intense. So, Ethan, what have you been playing?
Yeah. So I'm gonna quickly start out with The Legend of Tianding. This is a side-scrolling 2D beat 'em up game, kind of in a comic book style, mixed with anime and like Chinese art style. It's the story of a hero thief who's actually a real person in real life. Obviously way back when, during the turn of the century between the 1800s and 1900s, and you're kind of going through and fighting the Japanese Imperial Army that is kind of occupying Taiwan. And it's just a really fun little beat 'em up. If you were a fan of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Shredder's Revenge, this is probably a game that you would enjoy as well. Yeah, I finished that. I have a much more in-depth thoughts on it on X Talk, so I don't want to rehash it all. But overall, I think it's a really good game. I think it's multi-plat. I did have it on Game Pass. I played it on my Xbox, but I'm pretty sure it's on everything else. But that's been really fun. But overall, this week has been a kind of an anomaly for me. I've been playing almost strictly multiplayer stuff, and that's not like me. I'm very much a single player guy. I don't like to hop on the mic all the time and play multiplayer games, but it feels like I'm back sort of in middle school again, where you just go online, go to your friends list, and you just hop into a party or invite somebody to a party and you're in playing. I'm playing Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2. I'm playing Fall Guys. I played Fall Guys with Kevin and Kyle. I think before they went to Extra Life the night before. I've been playing Call of Duty with Garrett, Wayworn G all week long. We've been going at it in Ground War. And then I was up pretty much all day yesterday. I was playing with the folks over at Extra Life. I was hopping into lobbies, Fall Guys, Call of Duty. What was the other game we played, Kevin? The first one. Trying to remember.
Extra Life?
Yeah, we played Fall Guys. I played Forza Horizon with Sean Capri.
You played Call of Duty.
Call of Duty, and then there was the other one that we started with.
Bro, it was 25 hours. I can hardly
no. It was so long ago.
3-4 hours of sleep here. I can hardly remember what we were doing then. I don't know.
Either way, it was super fun. It's been a fun week just hopping in and talking to people and socializing. It's something that I don't often do, playing video games. It's something I definitely won't be doing this week with the God of War Ragnarok release. That's going to basically
everything else is going to move out of the way.
Everything else is going to move out of the way. Everything's on pause while we're playing Ragnarok. So I'm really excited for that. 3 days away? Is that right?
Yeah.
I can't believe that. I got my pre-order in for the physical copy, so I might not be playing it on like midnight like the rest of y'all. I gotta wait for my physical copy because I'm not a heathen. So I'm really excited for that. But yeah, it's been multiplayer.
Something to download it. I just barely thought of that.
I downloaded it. It's pre-installed, waiting there.
I'm gonna need to do that. So for me, I have kind of not been playing games. I will talk about it a little bit. There's like one game that I've been playing. I'll talk about in a second. But what I actually did this week was I somehow got so it's not somehow. So there's an author, a Chinese author. The easiest name, I cannot pronounce her name, unfortunately. But she goes by MXTX. And she writes like Heaven's Official Blessings, Scumville Self-Saving System. And there's another one that's like Demon something. I can't remember the other one. So they are finally releasing official like English translations of everything. The first series, which is SVSSS, finally is getting the final volume, or just released, and I just got it in the mail. Yeah, it's a vacuum. I'm so sorry. Sorry about that, guys.
It's all good.
I do not have my phone, or I would text and be like, what's wrong with you guys? Anyways, they will hear it later. Anyways, sorry guys. So since the last book was being released, I was like, okay, so the series is finally like released, so I can finish it and not worry after waiting for a volume or anything. And I was like, I'll just try the first book, see what happens. I read 3 books in 3 days, and they're like
Wow.
250 pages each ish.
That's nuts.
And I'm working on the 4th book now. I finally slowed down enough, and I think it's because I realized that I'm like finishing. So yeah, I can't believe how much I read this week. It was like like some sort of bug just like ate me up and spit me out. Anyways, yesterday I was there was the League of Legends World Championships, and it was T1 versus DRX, and I won't say who won, but if you have not watched the final game, please go watch it. It was, even if you don't watch the other the other 4 games, because it was out of 5 and they went 2-2, and then the last game was the decider. It was so intense. It was so intense, and I would recommend you watch the performance and stuff. It was like Lil Nas X and Jackson Wang performing in the Chase
They had
Center
a whole
down in San
performance
Francisco.
during it?
Yep,
Was
it was
this
a
the
whole
Super
concert.
Bowl?
It basically is of esports. It's
That's
like the biggest
nuts.
esports tournament in the world.
That's cool.
Yeah, it's so cool. I highly recommend you watch the performances, then you watch the games. It was so intense. I was screaming, I was jumping. It was insane. But for people that do play League of Legends, ranked season is ending, and in order to get a skin, you have to be gold. And I haven't been really playing ranked games. I've only been playing like Earth off and on. So I jumped back into ranked. Of course, after watching the games, I was like, I gotta play League of Legends. So yeah, that's the only game that I've really been playing, and I'm gonna have to keep playing because I'm in Silver 1 right now, and it's not gonna be that difficult to jump into Gold. But I would like to get the exclusive Gold skin so that I can have that. So
Cool. Good
yeah,
stuff.
that's what I've been up to. So yeah, with all of that fun out of the way, we're gonna jump into some news. All right, so first story today, PSVR2 release date and price have been announced alongside 11 new games. PlayStation has announced that PSVR2 will be launching February 22nd, 2023 at $549 US dollars, 599.99 euros, and 529.99 pounds. And then 74,980 yen. The recommended retail price for the PSVR 2 Horizon Call of the Mountain bundle will be $599 US dollars, 649 euros, 569 pounds, and then 79,980 yen. This bundle includes a voucher for the game, PSVR 2 headset, Sense controllers, and stereo headphones. And then we also have the recommended retail price for the Sense controller charging station, which is going to be $50 in US dollars, euros, and then $39.99 in pounds, and then 5,480 yen as the recommended retail price. Lots of numbers there. So players in the US, UK, France, Germany, Belgium, Netherlands, and Luxembourg, if I pronounced that correctly, will be able to pre-order PSVR 2 solely through direct.playstation.com. And this is just to start out. And these pre-orders will begin on November 15th. Last piece of this news is 11 new PSVR 2 titles have been revealed. These aren't the only 11 games that are happening at launch, but it's just 11 new games that have been added to the lineup. So we have the Dark Pictures Switchback VR, Crossfire, Sierra Squad, The Light Brigade, Cities VR Enhanced Edition, Cosmonious High, Hello Neighbor Search and Rescue, Jurassic World Aftermath Collection, Pistol Whip VR, Zenith The Last City, After the Fall, and Tentacular. The name of that last one cracks me up. But this comes from Isabel Tomatis and Sean Benson at PlayStation Blog. Excuse me. How do you guys feel about all this, Ethan?
Oh, wow. That's expensive.
Yeah.
And look, there's no doubt in my mind that the research and development that went into this, the engineering, the technology, the price it takes to manufacture these, all factored into the cost, and I'm sure that's what it's worth. I'm sure this is a premium piece of virtual reality technology. But at the end of the day, I personally just don't see the software to back up that price point. I'm not going to spend $600 so I can play Hello Neighbor Search and Rescue. And all these other games that are on there sort of are, nothing's really jumping out at me, and that could be because I'm not really in the VR space often. I know obviously Horizon Call of the Mountain, that's what everyone's really excited about. That's a first party Sony title that's going to be probably really fun and a really good VR experience. But if that's really all you're offering me of first party games for a 600 peripheral, it's not something I'm willing to jump into until I get at least a catalog of games that I can jump into. So it's just not. I have what is it called now? A MetaQuest 2. That was an impulse buy because I bought it back before the price increase. It was like $250 at Walmart or something like that. And I had some good experiences in there. There was some fun games that I got to download and try out, some fantasy games with swords and stuff like that. They have a lot of these cool like videos on there where you can climb Mount Everest and you can watch YouTube like in a theater setting or something. Like there's a lot of cool little novelty items that you can do with a VR headset. But I just don't see the software in terms of gaming unless you're going to get one that's going to be able to hook up to a PC. And I think right now, if you're a VR enthusiast that wants to play the best games in VR, you need one that you can plug into a PC. And that's what I can do with the MetaQuest 2. I can tether it to my PC. That's what you can do with any of Valve's or Steam's VR headsets. That's for the PC to tether into the PC and play like Half-Life Alyx, whatever that other crazy medieval fighting game is. There's a lot of like really premium experiences on that. From what I can tell, PSVR2, you still have to tether yourself to the PS5 in order to use it. So one, it's not wireless, and two, you can't even tether it to the PC. And I don't think that's the best experience. Now, I'm not trying to crap on anyone's party here, because I know there's a big audience out there for PSVR. There's probably a lot of I've heard a million things about Iron Man VR, how that's one of the best Iron Man games out there. I'm sure there's a lot of really exciting experiences and people are really stoked for this. But at the $600 price point, for me personally, I don't see the software there. I don't see the fun in it to be able to pay $600. If this was at a lower price point where it's like it's an impulse buy and I can just be like, okay, yeah, let's jump around and go to Walmart and buy this real quick, then absolutely I would use this. But 600, that's more expensive than what I paid for the PS5 itself. So I can't justify it.
Shout out to the fire alarm going off.
Yeah, that's the good stuff. Bree, you want to tell us what you think about the PSVR while Kevin's dealing with this alarm?
You're muted.
Thank you. Okay, so for me, this is way too much for me. Like as well, it's not just about price. You're right. Like a lot of these games do look really cool. Like I'm not gonna lie, it's not that these games aren't cool. A lot of these games, like I feel like the Dark Pictures Switchback looks really cool. Cosmonius High looks really cool. There was another one, the Light Brigade. That one looks really cool as well. It's not that these games aren't cool. It's just like these aren't the selling point for the PlayStation VR, and we just don't have that selling point game. Yes, Call of the Mountain is going to be fantastic, but there's nothing else that I really like. There's not like enough games to really warrant me purchasing something that's this expensive. I have a PC. I have the original PSVR that I can still use. Like I don't really have a reason to purchase this, and like on top of that, I don't even use my PSVR that I already have. So I don't know. I just don't think that this is for me, but I am happy for everybody that's excited. I'm glad that we have a date and we have a price so people know what to expect, and we have pre-orders coming up. So I'm sure that's good for everybody.
And also real quick, another point is I think the majority of these games that they're advertising, you can play on other platforms, which those other platforms you can tether to your PC. They're wireless. You can use them anywhere in your house. So there's a lot of different advantages to that. So that's just another reason why I don't think this is for me.
Yeah.
I personally, I'm a little offended you left out the Canadian and Australian prices, okay?
They weren't in
Canadian,
the PlayStation blog. Take it up with
and
them.
I'll let you know why. Canada, you'll be paying a base 750 Canadian dollars for the PlayStation
That is
VR.
not the conversion rate.
It is in fact the conversion rate.
No.
They
It
already
is
paid
in-
$100 for regular.
It is,
Oh my
it is,
God.
Video
games. It is confirmed $750.
Holy cow. No, I'm not saying that that's the wrong price. I'm saying that's insane.
Australia, you'll be looking at a whopping $879.95. That does include tax. Because ours doesn't. So I feel the need. Yes, obviously I know these. I'm obviously poking fun. Is it expensive?
Yes.
Absolutely. Especially in this economy with people say the impending recession. We're already in a recession. Like I know everyone tries to hide the fact that recession's coming. No, it's here. All right. I left and came back and gas went up 40 cents, and I'm like, what happened? It's already
What are
here.
you guys at?
We're at
in New York?
375 again, which is
Oh,
crazy.
my
Wow.
309
I haven't
down
checked
here in
in a
Texas.
while, but it was like $7 and some change before.
Oh,
Texas dropped down to $2.80 not too long
That's
ago.
ridiculous.
It was nice.
Yeah, I wish.
I filled up the tanks real quick when I saw
Yeah,
that.
You're
So
like, I need a couple extra things.
with inflation, we've already seen PlayStation increase the price of their consoles. Personally, I predicted the price of this to be base $600. Like that is after I saw the specs, listening to other people I know in the tech field, some YouTubers talking about like what they predicted this to be about. I was going $600. It seems they were right in the know. Sony obviously 550, close enough. They were $600 gets you the bundle with Horizon. It's expensive. There's no way around it. It's not that much more expensive than the original PlayStation VR. And anyone that expected it to be less than the console, I think you had an unrealistic expectation of what this technology is. That is it yes. Does it suck that you're gonna have to pay basically the cost of another console? Yes, I fully agree with you, but you are paying for a high-tech niche product. And that is what you have to remember. This is not a mass seller. It'll do I think it'll sell more than the original PSVR? Absolutely. I have no doubt in my mind that by the end of the PSVR2 life
Oh
cycle,
yeah, this
it
is gonna
will
sell
have
like hotcakes.
it will have massively surpassed because PlayStation knows their audience, especially this generation. They are marketed as the premium product. If you buy PlayStation products, you have a higher quality product. You are getting in on the upper echelon of the gaming experience versus, you know, we're obviously the Xbox show host, so I feel like we can say this. Xbox is going a different route where they're very much more, we're going to be the get everyone in the we're for everyone box, the consumer low price point Game Pass, giving a bunch of games. They're very different marketing strategies. They're very different objectives that they're going for. Not to say one is right and one is wrong. It's just what it is. PlayStation knows what they're doing. They know these are going to sell regardless of the price. And based on the tech, this is appropriate. I do agree there isn't a software here that speaks to me. I have no interest in anything here. I think the fact that it isn't backwards compatible, so you can't bring forward previous VR games, is a huge loss. I understand why they can't do it. It's completely different technology. I think we need to know how many developers are giving you the free upgrade, because we've seen some already come out and say, hey, we're going to have a PSVR 2 version free of cost. If that list is substantial and you can bring over a new version of previously owned software, then I think the hit becomes a little easier to take.
Yeah, and real quick on your point, Kevin, I wanted to pose this question to y'all because by buying the PlayStation VR2, you're basically locking yourself into the PlayStation VR ecosystem. You're locking yourself out of everything that's going to happen outside of it. So you have to trust that they're going to bring games over and develop first-party games for this system. Now, do you guys think Sony needs to hit a specific target in terms of development of first-party games on the system? Because I've heard a lot of people from the community talking about how they're worried that 6 months after they buy this thing, they're going to look at it and be like, why did I do this? Why didn't I just buy a MetaQuest 2 and play on PC? Why didn't I just buy a Valve VR headset so that I could play these PC VR games that are coming out all the time? So do you guys think that Sony really needs to double down on this and say, we are developing this amount of first party games and you guys are going to be getting them soon?
Yeah, they need to do something, because the thing is like the truth of the matter is that when you have VR experience on PlayStation, not only are you like you're getting a completely different experience, like you were saying, Ethan, like wireless, just like a completely different experience all around. But on top of that, you can download stuff. Like for example, Lightsaber is a completely different experience on PC, because there are people that make they make levels for songs. So you have this wide variety of music that you can choose from. Whereas for Lightsaber on like PlayStation VR as it is currently, you have to buy the song packs and you can't download these extra songs. And it's like it's a good experience still. Don't get me wrong. Lightsaber is super fun. It's a great experience. But compared to the PC experience, it's like a quarter of what you're getting, right? Because you're just not getting all of these like popular culture experiences that everybody else is getting when playing Lightsaber. And that's just an example of one game, right? That's just that one game. So you have to imagine how much stuff are you missing out on when you're not connecting to a PC and you're locked into the PlayStation ecosystem that has so many limitations on their PlayStation VR and what they allow to be downloaded onto the PlayStation.
Yeah, that's interesting, because that sounds a lot like the rift between PC games and console games, like the modding community. Like obviously the experience of Skyrim on PC is completely different when you have access to all these mods than it is on, let's say, the Xbox Series X. Kevin, what were you gonna say?
that was the whole point of Bethesda introducing Creation Club, was to kind of bridge that gap. And it was because PlayStation was so closed off to the idea of mods, where Xbox is a little more open to it. So that was one example. One way that they can make this a more enticing offering: announce Half-Life Alyx. It's been rumored. It is the gold standard for VR titles from what anyone has said. If you can get that as a launch title, I think that is your selling. You have Call of the Mountain, and then you have Half-Life Alyx. I think those two make this launch look way better. But for your original point, they 100% need to be more transparent. And this is a problem that I have with PlayStation a lot this generation, is they lack communication skills. Xbox probably talks too much sometimes. Phil Spencer, Matt Booth, they're all out there just
saying stuff.
We'll come over, chat to you, talk about whatever. But for PlayStation, it is we let you know the information on our terms, and even then you might not get all of your answers, because I remember like the PlayStation Plus rollout that took
that was
months and months, and the messaging was so. I remember listening to a few episodes ago, it wasn't clear, and I've heard other people say this, that the extra tier, if you claim the games, you don't get to keep them. That was not clear to multiple people that I've heard that from. It's not good communication, and that is something PlayStation has to do better of. They need to come out and say, these are the VR studios that we have, which they do have. So like Fire Sprite, they have studios that are going to be making VR games. They cannot, however, be like, oh, Naughty Dog's going to make a VR game. Guerrilla's going to make it, because those are your AAA teams. You want them making games for your PlayStation 5, unless they have it can split off into a smaller team. But you need those smaller studios. Like, what's Media Molecule doing? All right, nothing. Dreams. Wait, I bought Dreams for $10. I want my $10 back. All right. You've been doing nothing since 2013, Media Molecule. If you want to make a VR game, that's a better use of your time than continuing to push Dreams on people. Because let me tell you, it ain't happening. Stop. I feel like the meme, all right, where it's like, stop trying to make dreams happen. It ain't gonna happen. So they definitely just need to come out and say, like, these are the studios that are going to making our VR titles. These are the studios that are going to make our AAA games. You might have some crossover every once in a while. I'm sure some people will help out, but VR is a very different type of game than AAA.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And then on your point of communication, real quick, I think for most consumers, when you buy a Nintendo Switch or you buy a PlayStation 5 or you buy a Series X/S, I think it's safe to assume you're going to get first party games from that. And you're going to get a lot of third party games. Like you buy that console and you know you're going to get a ton of games for it, right? I think it's safe to assume that. With the PSVR2, or any VR for that matter, because it's such a volatile industry right now, because it is on the cutting edge of a niche market. There's really not much consistency in VR game releases, and then also there's a lot of projects that start up and fail, and there's a lot of lull periods in between good VR experiences. So
Yeah.
I think that's the other reason why they need to be more open about this, because it's not an assumption that you're going to get an amazing VR experience in the next 6 months or the next 12 months. It could be 12 months down the road, PlayStation comes out with 4 amazing first party VR titles that year. But
Yeah, but
for
give
that,
us an idea of what the future looks like.
exactly. But for that first year, people are going to be looking at that $600 purchase being like, damn, you guys really screwed me over. And that's not what I want for a consumer that's
May
buying
as
this
well
piece of
wait.
technology.
But
Exactly.
But then they're going to raise the price and be like, you know what? I got a pretty good deal on this actually.
No, I don't think they'll. If they do, they won't raise it for a while. Hopefully.
No way.
Ethan, do you want to read us these 2 prongs of Last of Us news?
Sure. Really excited. All right, Last of Us news. We finally have a premiere date for the Last of Us TV show. Naughty Dog and HBO have confirmed that the TV show adaptation of The Last of Us will premiere on January 15th, 2023, after the premiere date was leaked via an HBO Max app and website in the UK. The first season will consist of 10 episodes. This is brought to you courtesy of Adam Bankhurst over at IGN. So what do you guys think? Are you guys excited about this HBO show? Because I know I am. Bree,
Yeah, not
I
much
can
to
see
say,
perking
but
up.
man,
Yeah.
I'm so disgustingly excited. Oh, I can't wait.
Yeah, Kevin.
Can't wait.
Am I excited about the Last of Us TV show?
The answer is yes.
It's a low. It's not that simple for me. Okay, first of all, it's on
If this
HBO
was
Max.
a Plague Tale TV show, I would be.
First
way
of
more
all, a
excited.
Plague Tale TV show is
That
already in
would
the
be
works,
a great
and
TV show.
I
so
will be
excited.
there day one. All right, we covered that story months ago. All right, it's already in the works behind the scenes. It's probably not gonna be. It's probably gonna be a few years, but I'll be there. Listen, I really enjoyed The Last of Us Part 1, as anyone that listened to our review discussion knows, with me and Ethan. The problem is HBO Max. I don't have HBO Max, and I don't know if The Last of Us is something that I care enough about to get HBO Max. Maybe if they have a free trial, I can binge it all after it's
I
done.
think they do a free 30-day trial.
Okay. Then you got me. All right. I can wait until it's all done, and then I will binge all 9 episodes. And I thought it was 9, by the way. I think they
The article says 10.
I'll take 10.
Okay.
So
9, whatever, 9 or 10 doesn't really matter. It's another extra hour and a half, right?
take it up with IGN if the article is incorrect.
Call Sam. Where's Sam?
Yeah, Sam.
How dare you?
It goes back to the whole I think the show looks good. First of all, I have nothing against any of the like production. I think the show will be really good. I do think
The cast
clear,
is fantastic.
Yeah, it's clear the quality of the show and the tone and the setting, everything I've seen from it looks great. It is just getting me to actually sit down and watch a television show, which is very difficult these days. So
I see. That makes sense.
That's why I say I can't say I'm excited for it. It is something I will probably watch. I watched the Halo show, so like I gotta.
You got a low
the
standard.
bar is real low.
This is gonna be award winning compared to that. So
yeah, I'm super stoked for this. I've said it a couple times. This is the team of the guy who created Chernobyl, which is my favorite HBO series, and Neil Druckmann. That's an insane combination to me. And and ever since playing The Last of Us Part 1, the remake, and we did that review on it, I have been wanting to know more about this world. I haven't jumped into The Last of Us 2 because like I said at that review, I need a long break of zombies before I can jump back. I platinumed The Last of Us Part 1, and that was rough on my on my nerves. So I got to take a break a little bit, and I might be playing Callisto Protocol, so then that break's gonna have to be extended. But I'm really excited. Obviously the cast of Pedro Pascal and Bella Ramsey, that really excites me. Those are two
Nick
actors.
Offerman.
Nick Off. I mean, yeah, there's a really good ensemble cast here, and I just think this is going to be incredible. Everything I've seen from it just looks really like a
Mhm.
premium television show from HBO, and
Yeah,
I'm stoked for it.
absolutely. All right, let's hit this next piece of Naughty Dog news, Ethan.
Oh, yes. Naughty Dog has announced a partnership with Themeborn to create a tabletop game titled The Last of Us Escape the Dark. The Kickstarter campaign for this game will be live on November 8th and will offer an exclusive collector's edition of the game. The board game will have 1 to 5 players take control of Ellie, Joel, Tess, Bill, Tommy, or Marlene as they attempt to reach safety while exploring an open world map. It'll feature familiar locations such as the suburbs, sewers, oh no, and the university, oh, that's even worse, and allow players to interact with both human and infected enemies. This comes courtesy of Logan Plant at IGN. Anybody care
Um,
about tabletop besides me?
I enjoy tabletop games. I'm not
Okay.
like I'm not like the most intensive into it, but I do enjoy it from time to time. And I have to say this game like the board game looks so nice. Like this looks like
Hmm.
a premium product. So I'll definitely be checking out the Kickstarter. I don't know if I will be getting the game or not. I haven't really decided on that, but I will definitely be checking it out. And I'm interested to see what they do with this. I think this is honestly just like a small nerdy thing. They're not really looking for too much
Yeah.
out of this. I think that's why they're even doing like a Kickstarter. They're just
Yeah.
doing something fun. And I think that this is a really cool passion project.
Yeah, I think this looks really cool. I am a fan of tabletop games. I think it's really going to be up to if I can find enough people to play it, whether or
Mhm.
not I'm going to buy it. Because like I don't like to play tabletop games 2 or 3 players. I'd rather have 4 or 5 or plus, depending on the game that we're playing. I want a
Mhm.
good group of people to sit down and play these games with, and that makes it way more fun. But yeah, I mean this sounds interesting to me. An open world map, and it brings you to all those different locations. This could be a good way for me to experience the zombies without actually seeing the zombies, and I'd be happy.
Yeah.
What
Kevin,
does an open world map mean for a
I
tabletop
don't
game?
know.
I'm assuming that
You
it's
probably
gonna
draw
be
like a
along the
card or
lines of like
something.
Dungeons and Dragons or something where you can kind of just say where you're going,
Yeah.
and you can,
Imagination,
yeah, use your
imagination.
imagination. God
Um,
forbid, Kevin, you use your imagination.
yeah, no,
What imagination?
I can't with this game. This doesn't need to exist as far as I'm concerned. Cool. If people want this, they can spend their money
You're
accordingly.
nuts.
I don't get it. This is clearly for the hardcore fans. Even then, I guarantee you most people that buy this will never play it. They'll just sit on their
Or
shelf.
play
It
it
is
once and then
really
put it
pretty
away.
to sit on your
Yeah.
shelf.
Yeah.
There's a
So
lot of those tabletops where you buy it once, do a campaign or two, and you're like, all right, I'm going back to D&D. Right?
Yeah,
Like you got to go back to the baseline.
my
for
nose
sure.
is itchy right now. Oh man.
That's rough.
Yeah, rough life. No, I have no interest in this. Cool. Good for them.
Yeah, 100%. Super cool. That's it. All right, Kevin, you want to hit this third story?
Oh boy.
Oh
Number
boy.
3, PlayStation 5 has hit 25 million units sold, and we have the Q2 earnings report. So, during an earnings call last week, Sony said PlayStation 5 sales were going according to plan, and they believe they can still achieve 18 million sales for fiscal year 2022, but so far have only sold 5.7 million. Okay. Additionally, while Sony's game and network services reported that Q2 revenues were up 12% year over year, and a record Q2 profit fell significantly by 49%, about 42.1 billion yen or $284.6 million. Sony says its decline in gaming profits was due to an increase in game development and acquisition costs, as well as the negative impact of foreign exchange rates, reflecting a high ratio of USD cost. They have also revised its full year forecast down by 12%, citing lower than expected sales of third party games. SFO Hiroki Tataki also blamed it on, quote,
Totoki.
I nailed it. I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
I blamed it on more people going outdoors.
I mean, is he wrong though? That's what I'm gonna propose
It's just
here.
such a weird thing to say. I mean,
It's a
I'm
funny
sure
way to
he's
say it,
not.
but
y'all
he's
touching
not wrong.
too much
But
grass. All right.
he's like, listen, we've sent too many people outside at this point. We need to return back home
Get him back
to get our
inside.
money.
I mean,
yeah.
these sort of these earnings reports are really just for investors, and I know we like to
Yeah.
hyperanalyze them and look at them. Look, Sony made a crap load of money, not as much as they did at the same time last year, but they still made a crap load of money. And PS5 sales obviously going down, that makes sense. People are getting it in their hands. It's out in the wild now. You know, there's less
See,
people that need it.
but my question is, do they really think they're going to hit 18 million? Because they're at 5. They're like a third of the way right now, and
I mean,
half the year is done.
as far as I know, it's still the fact that every single PS5 being manufactured is being sold. So I really think it's just up to production to pick it up.
I bet they have a big batch waiting for holiday too.
Yeah, for sure. They did say, like, in this article they were talking about they'd made like 6.5 million units during during Q2.
Yeah.
So I don't know how many they have still from Q1 that they're holding on to, how much they're holding from Q2. I don't know, but they did say they made 6.5 million units. So I guess we'll see, because like for me, math, like 5.7 plus 6.5 does not equal 18.
Yeah.
So I guess we'll see what happens in Q3. So super interesting. I guess we'll see what happens.
This really isn't that surprising to me. I think it's funny he says more people going outdoors. Obviously, that's a laughing point.
Yeah.
Literally too many people touching grass right now. But
Yeah.
you got to remember, they acquired Bungie. I think
this is the Bungie
they had
cost.
some acquisitions go through during
They
this
also had
quarter.
From Software costs. They also bought.
So the
they've got
fact
somebody else
the
as
fact
well.
their profit fell, they didn't lose money, but they compared to last time they made 284 million less. All right, so that's an acquisition. All right, that's almost as much as Embracer paid for the Square Enix studios they bought. This really isn't anything to worry about, especially because revenue was up. If revenue's up and they don't make an acquisition, how much profit do they make?
So now, Kevin,
exactly.
I'm gonna use this
Go
to
for
segue.
it.
So if this isn't something to worry about, this next news story is this something to worry about?
Well, hold on. I wanted to make one more point about
that was such a
costs
perfect
that we're
segue,
putting
Ethan.
in.
How
It
dare
was a
you.
perfect segue, but I'm sorry. We also have
Kevin,
to
don't
remember.
shake your head at me.
I was agreeing with you, and Ethan ruined it.
Oh, I thought you were saying it wasn't good.
No, it was. It was good. It was.
But we have to remember, going back to story one, they're launching a $600 peripheral. It costs a ton of money to launch a new product, especially one as high tech as this. It's marketing, it's logistics, it's distribution, it's employees, it's research and development. There's a lot of money going into PSVR2, and we're probably not going to see
the upfront cost of all the manufacturing.
So we're not going to see that cost in the next 2 quarters because they're doing it all this time. So
yeah,
do the segue again.
I'm not going to do it again. You heard what happened.
Word for word, okay? Just repeat it.
Just repeat it. Yeah,
it'll still be. It'll still be good. Okay, it'll still hit. All right, just do it again.
The next story here: PlayStation Plus has lost nearly 2 million subscribers since its revamp in June. According to Sony's latest subscriber estimates that were published as part of the FY 2022 Q2 financial results, subscribers have dropped by almost 2 million. It's like 1.9 or something like that. This is the third quarter in a row that PlayStation Plus subs have declined. Despite the decline in subscribers, Sony Network Services revenue, which does encompass PlayStation Plus and advertising, increased by 10%. So essentially, this just means that Sony is getting more money per subscriber. However, they lose 2 million subscribers. This comes from Andy Robinson from VGC.
Do you want to go first, Ethan, or shall I?
I'll go first. Seeing all of these people leave the service, it always kind of surprised me, because for me, it's an amazing deal. But then I thought, I'm not looking at this through the eyes of somebody who's been in the PlayStation ecosystem for years. I'm somebody that had a PS2 because I won it at McDonald's, at the McDonald's Monopoly, and then I didn't have a PlayStation after that. And then I just got a PS5 a month ago. So I have a lot of games on that PS Plus platform that I get to jump into. And it is honestly, at this point, a PS Plus subscription for me has more value than a Game Pass subscription, because most of the games that are on Game Pass, I've already played. I've already caught up on. The Game Pass is great because I'm playing all the new games that are coming to it, but I have like 50 games on PS Plus, all
You got a
premium, like
lot of stuff to
first
catch up
party.
on.
I got Ratchet and Clanks. I got the old God of Wars. I got Shadow of the Colossus. I have some insane games that I've never played in my life because I've never been in the ecosystem. So it is one of the greatest values in the world for me because I'm just downloading these bangers of first party experiences, these massive open world, beautiful video games like Horizon Zero Dawn that I'm playing through right now. But to look at it through the eyes of a PlayStation player who's been in the ecosystem forever, I'm wondering, what am I getting for the deal? You get Stray. That's a great pickup, but that's like a 6-hour game. What else has there really been besides a couple third-party drops here, a couple indie games here and there? So I wanted to ask you guys who have been in the PlayStation ecosystem a little longer, what is the value to you for PS Plus right now? Why do you think people are leaving that service?
So for me, I think PlayStation Plus still has plenty of value. For me personally, I think that the issue isn't the value of PlayStation Plus. I think that they have a lot of work to get on the same level as Game Pass. But I don't think that necessarily like that there isn't value in PlayStation Plus. And because I still have it and I will probably I
Right.
don't see myself canceling it. So I think that there's definitely still value, but I think that I'm kind of talking as somebody that like is actually like I'm like a more like I game a lot. So I'm more like familiar with the ecosystem. I know what's going on. What I genuinely think has happened here is the mixed messaging that we were talking about earlier confused a lot of general consumers. And they just were like, you know what? Instead of trying to deal with this, I'm out.
I'm just going to buy my games.
Yep.
Like a normal person. Yeah.
Yeah. So I don't think that that counts for all 2 million. I'm sure that some people were just annoyed at like the price changes and stuff like that. Or they feel like, it didn't have value for them personally, which I think is totally understandable. But I think like the pass itself has like our game or the PlayStation Plus has value. I think it's just like that mixed messaging really screwed them over a lot. So
we're gonna have three different takes here, guys.
ooh.
Which is first off, what I see from this. I'm gonna refer back to my good old friend Hiroki Totoki. Nailed it again. More people going outdoors. Okay, I firmly think this 2 million subscriber loss, and I use that in air quotes, can be described be explained by a large part of the pandemic is winding down, and people that got PlayStations during the pandemic when they were stuck at home and realized, hey, I need PlayStation Plus, like you get free games, I need to play online with the people I can no longer see. They're now going outdoors. They're going. They're not playing games as much
Outside.
Mimosas at brunch.
In inflation, recession, as we talked about, they're looking at what can we cut, what do we not need, and they're seeing, hey, PlayStation Plus, we really don't need that anymore, so they're dropping out of the service. Add that to the fact where I think a lot of people still view PlayStation Plus as just we're paying for multiplayer. And I think that's Xbox has the same problem. Xbox Live Gold, we've long been waiting for the day where they're like, you no longer need Xbox Live Gold. Like, we're getting rid of it because it's a pointless service that only exists to allow you to play certain games online, multiplayer games. And
Which is ridiculous.
And we're
genuinely.
It's getting more ridiculous because we're seeing more and more multiplayer games go free to play, and free to play games are excluded from the need for that service. You don't need PS Plus or Xbox Live Gold to play free to play titles online anymore. So if people are continuing to release the multiplayer games free to play, and people are just playing multiplayer games are obviously bigger than single player games. Like, that is a lot of people primarily want to play multiplayer games. They're not going to subscribe to those services. They don't.
Can you imagine if they tried to do that on PC? They're like, you need to pay to get connected to the internet. Oh,
that's very much an archaic structure of the past that's still just kind of sticking around with us. Because back then it made sense on like the original Xbox or something.
So I think Sony recognized that, and I think Sony revamped PlayStation Plus to try to mitigate the fact that people do view it that way, and the fact that free to play is taking over. So they're like, okay, what can we do to make this more valuable? And that's why they launched Extra and Premium. They launched the game Game Pass quote competitor service there, which Ethan, obviously value is subjective,
Right.
and
I'm talking about purely monetary. I'm not talking about for personal monetary
I'm very
value.
happy that you feel your PlayStation Plus extra, I believe you have subscription,
Whatever the middle one is.
Yes,
I don't know.
extra. And I would say for most people, extra probably is the way to go, because you do get
absolutely.
you get the catalog
Essential
of
is
games.
useless, man.
Essential is just the multiplayer cloud saves, which I think is ridiculous, and 3 free games a month, which I still claim all of them, even though I don't play I still claim them, so I just have a bunch of games. But as someone that has PlayStation Plus Premium, only because I had PlayStation Now and I got in on the hey, I'm gonna stack 2 years of this, so then I get PS Plus Premium half off for 2 years. It isn't worth it for me. I haven't used the service in months. When it came out, it was very cool. Like, I played some JRPGs that I like, the Yeez series that I got into. My brother played a few games, but we really haven't touched it in months, and I don't see a reason to. We have a news item coming up that gets me a little excited more, but even then there's caveats to, like, okay, well, I'm not as excited as I could be, but premium for me, it's not worth it. Objectively, I think
Premium, I don't think is worth it at this point. We've talked about this so many times on this, because, like, genuinely, I like not messing with anybody. Premium is not worth it at this point. I think extra is worth the money. I don't think essential is worth it.
I think that's why I say that. So for me, there's nothing worrying here, because the main point is PS Plus and is actually, they made more money. Yes, they lost 2 million, but they made more money, and that's probably because people switch to the extra tier, so they're getting more money from the people, so that it really offsets the people that are like, yo, I'm going to touch grass, peace, I'm out. There's nothing here. I think people like a headline where it's like 2 million lost play. There is nothing here. This is just people looking for a fight where there isn't one.
The console Xbots out there and Sony ponies fighting over this is ridiculous. I love that.
Oh,
one of the reasons I got rid of Twitter. It's just as toxic on the Xbox side as it is PlayStation. It's rough.
So, anybody else want to add on to this? Because I'm going to do another segue.
PS Plus is dead.
PlayStation dead.
PlayStation's dying.
PlayStation dead.
Gaming is dying. We're not going to have gaming soon.
I can't.
Dude, I love when people say that. They're like, gaming won't be around for much longer. I'm like,
we're all gonna be playing on our phones. I heard that.
Yeah, that's true.
God help us.
So going back to when Kevin said more people are going outside to touch grass. Speaking of more people going outside, we're gonna have about 200 people able to go outside more often.
Oh no!
I saw it coming, and I'm like, she's not about to do it. She did.
No. I can't. I can't support. I can't support.
I'm sorry, that was a really dark joke. But...
I can't support using job
comedy
loss.
and tragedy. Comedy and tragedy.
Comedy and tragedy. To be fair, not everybody's losing their jobs. Okay, Ethan, do you want to tackle this one?
Sure. Embracer has announced they are closing Anoma, aka Square Enix Montreal, and its publishing QA team. Embracer announced that it will be shutting down Anoma in favor of focusing on Crystal Dynamics and Eidos Montreal. The closures will impact roughly 200 people through CDE. Though CDE has said it will look to match some of them with open positions within the company. Quote, we see the growth opportunities centered around our premier franchises and AAA games. Closing publishing QA in our Anoma studio is a difficult decision and one that we've taken with great care and consideration. We greatly thank all those team members for their contributions over the years, and I hope to find proper placements for as many as possible. End quote, said CDE director Phil Rogers. This is brought to you by Brendan Sinclair over at gamesindustry.biz. Guys, Anoma, Kevin, I know we talked about this a little bit on Project X Talk, so Brianna, I want to hear your thoughts on this.
So I do want to say.
Oh wait, no, Kevin wanted to make a joke. I can see that smirk on his face.
Oh no, my studio getting closed.
Stop. All right, on to Brianna.
No, yeah, we could. Why did you even leave that opening?
My studio getting
No. Anyway, so yeah, like despite the jokes and like the like dark humor or whatever, like it really is not funny for 200 people to be losing their jobs. That's a significant chunk of people, and unfortunately, with the games industry, a lot of the developers are spread out. Hopefully, they're close enough in Montreal that they can jump to another like other studios. And I know that like in recent times, we've seen a lot of people try and be like, hey, if you're looking for jobs, like we're opening these positions and trying to reach out to these developers that are losing their jobs when like mass layoffs and stuff happen like this. So hopefully a bunch of them will find placement in Eidos and Crystal Dynamics, but this is very, very unfortunate news. Beyond the PR speak, this just really irritates me because it's like, why would you go through the whole thing of like going through the studio, allowing them to choose their own name, getting them excited about the stuff moving forward, and then being like, you know what, we're out. Like, that's
This
such a dick move.
Yeah, that was the exact point I made on X Talk, and I said that it sucks whenever a studio gets closed because a lot of people lose their jobs, but it doubly sucks for these guys because
Mhm.
I felt like I can just imagine from the outside looking in, I can imagine that they were like, okay, we got a fresh start. We're out of the shadow of Square Enix. We're kind of
Mhm.
more independent now. We got some money backers. We're renaming the studio for our own thing. We're no longer Square Enix Montreal.
All
We
this
are.
motivation and stuff
Yeah,
moving forward.
everyone's
Yeah.
excited. And then 2 weeks later, bam, the emails hit the inbox. We're done.
Yeah.
I cannot imagine a more crushing defeat than that feeling. That's got to really
Mhm.
suck for these guys. So hopefully they can get some positions within the company right now, the umbrella company or whatever you want to call it, and hopefully they can move on to other studios within Montreal. I know there's like Ubisoft up there. There's a bunch of developers up in Quebec, so I'm sure
Yeah.
a lot of them will find some good places. Hopefully, but yeah, Kevin, what do you think about Onoma?
Oh, listen, Twitter tells me, okay,
Uh-oh.
that Embracer Group just bought these Square Studios to hold on for Xbox, and then Xbox is
Oh, yeah.
come take that. They're keeping them warm, all right?
Yep. You guys figured us out. The master plan.
I honestly can't believe anyone thinks that conspiracy theory is true. That literally makes no sense. But sucks for the people at Anoma. I do think Embracer clearly didn't want, I don't want to say didn't want to buy them, but
Mhm.
didn't really want to buy them. I think they value Crystal Dynamics and Eidos Montreal way more,
Yeah.
considering the fact that they're not really interested in making mobile games. They want PC and console games, which isn't something this studio did. So the upkeep for an entire studio, a 200-person team, would be immense, especially if you don't value that team. So
Yeah.
for me, for a business decision, completely understand Embracer's thought process and reasoning behind
Yeah, but they should
closing
have
the
done this
studio.
2 weeks ago or
Yes,
4
they
weeks
should not.
ago.
Or
They
at
should
least
not.
told them like, hey, hold off on the name thing.
They
We're gonna
should not have let them rebrand and
Yeah.
been like, the future's so bright, and then it was bright for all of 3 weeks. So sucks. I do think they'll be fine, most of them, because they are in a very game developer populated area, which is lucky. You know, some studios get closed down and they're in the middle of nowhere. They're remote,
like
so
in Austin, Texas.
yeah, it is much harder. But so hopefully everyone lands on their feet. But I get where Embracer's coming from. It always just sucks to see people lose their jobs.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, Kevin, do you want to talk about symbiogenesis?
Again.
I'm so
Love it.
happy that I get to read this story
Yes.
again. Square Enix symbio. I can't say the word
Symbiogenesis.
symbiogenesis.
Mm.
Just as dumb as when I read it on Project X Talk. It's unfortunately not Parasite Eve. It is an NFT collectible art experience, or as I read on Project X Talk, an art project. Square Enix has officially announced Symbiogenesis, a new NFT collectible art project that is coming in spring 2023 alongside a free browser service. Symbiogenesis, quote, Symbiogenesis is a brand new entertainment content set in a self-contained world where a wide cast of characters symbiosis. Why? Who wrote this?
Yeah.
Somebody said it.
All of which can be
Said
collected
that.
as digital art, an interactive story, and a dedicated community. Square Enix says in a statement, quote, "The art can be used for social media profile pictures and as a character in a story that takes place in an alternate world where the player can untangle a mystery by completing missions that revolve around questions of the monopolization and distribution of resources. With each strategic move players make, more of the story unfolds." I hate it even more the second time I read it.
Yeah. This
I
is
Ethan and I couldn't get through this write up when we were talking, especially when it goes to the monopolization and distribution of resources. You're just saying words, Square.
It's-
They don't mean anything.
Word salad.
yeah, word soup is what I use. Word soup or word salad works as well. This is just ridiculous. I don't know what Square Enix is doing right now.
I don't think they know what they're doing.
I don't.
right
Yeah,
now.
they don't
They're
know
like
what they're doing.
NFTs. Wow, that's
And
so cool.
it ceases. I mean, it always amazes me how disconnected some companies can be from the real world. It just doesn't click with me on how the people that are making these decisions don't see like the writing on the wall on this. Nobody wants this. Every
Nobody
studio
wants
that has
NFTs.
announced NFT projects for video games have been dumped on, and people have shouted them down, and they've all had to
Theirs
backtrack
is
on it.
so different, Ethan. It's so different.
Oh, Square Enix is going to give us the AAA NFT experience
Yeah.
and show us the error of our ways. And we're
Yeah.
going to need to all jump into this. No, it's not going to happen. It's going to fail miserably. They're going to lose money on it. People are going to lose their jobs. It's going to be a dumpster fire. And I am going to
Absolutely.
laugh the whole time because I don't feel any sympathy for them because they know. We've been telling them. The entire community, make JRPGs that we love. You're so good at doing
Let's
that.
go back to
Square.
Kingdom Hearts.
Make amazing JRPG experiences. That's what we love. Or experiment with other games. I would love you to try other things, but just not NFTs, please.
Yeah. Nothing, anything but NFTs. I don't know that there's not much to say beyond like this. I hate that this exists, and this is going to be a hell of a trivia question in about 20 years.
Oh yes, it will. That's a good shout out. What was the name of that NFT game Square Enix was Symbiote?
It'll be like there'll be like you'll have the epic music leading up to it, right?
Yeah.
In the year 2022, there was a rumor of a Parasite Eve revival. What was the name of the game that ended up being
An NFT
Parasite Eve?
dumpster fire.
You know what's funny is I made a short of us making fun of this game, and somebody commented on it with the username Bitcoin and cryptocurrency.
Oh
and
God!
Their comment just says, "Learning crypto was easy on this video." I don't think you watched the video. I don't think you really understood what we were doing.
Not today, ISIS. Not today.
Because I can't wait to use the collectibles for my social media profile picture.
Oh, it's gonna be great. I'm so excited.
Square, I love so much of what you do.
Yeah, for real.
But
They make terrible decisions a lot of the time. I
can't take this seriously. You make me want to laugh at you.
Now, here's the thing. Do we play this as a meme?
I can't even see myself even if it's free to play. Like I'm not gonna even I don't want to attach any accounts to this. You know what I'm saying? I feel
they're gonna
worried.
Make you have a Square Enix account for sure.
I mean, I already have a Square Enix account, but I don't even want that attached to their own game. Like it just scares me. It's a rug pull. That's all these things are.
But what about untangling the mystery? The questions of monopolization and distribution?
Because I really want to be preached to about how terrible the world is by an NFT game that eats up resources.
But also, like, you can't.
Web3,
what are you gonna do? Like when everybody's profile picture is from this game and yours isn't.
Good thing I don't have anything for a profile picture. Got rid of Twitter.
I'm gonna change my Discord profile picture.
No, I'm gonna make a Twitter account, pay that $8 a month for that blue check, and put an FT on there. I'm fully in, Kevin. Let's do it.
Yeah,
Elon won't let this happen. Elon won't let this happen.
Elon's like, I'll allow everything else to pass, but
except
we're not allowing these photos.
Yeah.
Yeah. I know we let other NFTs be profile pictures, but not this. This
not
is
this
too
one.
stupid.
This is too far.
Too stupid.
Yep.
Alrighty, enough of this nonsense. Let's get into some celebrations here. So PlayStation has celebrated 20 years of Ratchet and Clank as of last week. Happy birthday. So exciting. They can almost drink alcohol. To celebrate, Sony is kicking off Ratchet and Clank celebrations by dropping a few surprises and taking a look at the franchise's history. Rift Apart has received a 20th anniversary armor pack update available at no extra cost. The pack includes 5 armors inspired by games throughout the franchise's history. We have Commando armor, which was inspired by Going Commando, Holoflex armor, which is from A Crack in Time, Quest armor, inspired by Quest for Booty, Marauder armor, inspired by Deadlocked, and then Clank armor to celebrate, quote, the greatest of pals. Definitely check out the blog post to get a look at some of like the art, and like there's a bunch of insight into the franchise's history and stuff like that. So that's going to be on the PlayStation blog from Aaron Jason Espinoza. Before we wrap this up, I just want to let you guys also know that the Ratchet and Clank franchise is coming to PlayStation Plus Premium. This includes Ratchet and Clank Future, Quest for Booty, which is PS3 version, Ratchet and Clank Future, A Crack in Time, again PS3, Ratchet and Clank All in One, PS3, Full Frontal Assault, PS3, Into the Nexus, PS3, the original just Ratchet and Clank, PS3, Going Commando, PS3, Up Your Arsenal, which is probably my favorite game name, PS3, Deadlocked, PS3, and Tools of Destruction, PS3. How are you guys feeling about this? I'm not gonna have access to this. I don't have premium, and I'm not paying for premium for this, to be honest with you.
I'm actually really excited, and I might up to premium just to play some of these games because I was going through the filing cabinets the other day in my brain, and I'm thinking about different PlayStation games that I need to get into. And one of them that popped up was Ratchet and Clank. Like after God of War Ragnarok is done, after I finally play Horizon Forbidden West, and the dust settles on both of those games, barring a massive game release like I don't know, Ghost of
Callisto
Tsushima
Protocol.
2 or something like that. I think Ratchet and Clank is going to be the next series I jump into. And I've been told that I need to play Ratchet and Clank, what was it, 2016 before I play Rift Apart. So I might start with those 2 games initially, but then I would love to go back into some of these old backlogs because I've fallen in love with platformers over the last 2 years. Psychonauts 2 kind of got me back into platforming and made me realize just how fun Crash 4 was. An absolute blast for me. There's a lot of indie platformers that I've been playing, and I've been loving those. So this is a game series that I really want to sink my teeth into because it looks like PlayStation's like, this is our platforming series and we want you to play this. This is exciting. So I might up to premium just to play some Ratchet and Clank.
Absolutely. Ratchet and Clank is so fun. Like genuinely one of my favorite games. I have so many memories playing these games, and I have to say I don't really love like shooters. I know this is like mostly a platformer, but I have to say like Ratchet and Clank has some of the wildest gun selection imaginable, and it's so out there and so fun. It's a very ridiculous game, and it's just genuinely so much fun.
Yeah, it just looks over the top. Good time.
Yeah, so I do want a little correction. So the first 5 games you listed off are actually already on PS Plus Premium.
Oh, okay, they're already out, and then the last 5 are
The
adding
last
on
5
the
are the
15th.
ones coming because I played Quest for Booty this year.
Yeah.
Fun fact, it's about 3 hours long, doesn't have trophies. I didn't realize
How dare they?
till after I beat the game that I didn't have trophies because I went to look at the list and I was like, where are my trophies? No one, there's no record. And apparently some PS3 games don't have trophies.
Is it bad that I don't want to play a game that doesn't? Is that wrong?
Yes.
That doesn't have trophies?
Honestly, you could skip this one and not miss anything. Nothing
Yeah,
happens.
Quest for Booty is not one of the main ones.
This is a side mission if I've ever seen one. I bought a PlayStation 5 for Ratchet and Clank. Rift Apart was
I didn't know.
I have always been interested in Ratchet and Clank. I remember playing the demos in the kiosks in GameStop on the PS2. And it was just I never got a PlayStation. So like when I saw Rift Apart and I was like, all right, I'm getting a PS5. Ratchet is like what I'm gonna look forward to. I played 2016 immediately. I think it was like my first game. One of my first games I played on it. And then I played Rift Apart. Obviously got the platinum there. Love it. I played Quest for Booty. I'm gonna have to find time probably next year to play through the Ratchet and Clank series. This is the one time where I was saying earlier, like premium's not worth it for me majority of the time. This appeals to me. This is what I'm looking for, more of this. But the problem is it's PlayStation 3, so it's streaming, which is hit or miss in my experience. So you're going to have to stream all these games. There's no native. And what bothers me more is they could have just put the PS2 games on here, right? Like they could have they've brought over PS2 games. They work on PS4, PS5, like they sell some PS2 games, or like the whatever they call, like Dark Cloud is a PS2 game that they brought over and put it on PS4, and you can buy it just a standalone, but it's a PS2 game. Why can't they just put the PS2 versions up? And like, I would buy them. All right. Like, if you don't want to put them in, I'll buy them. I'll buy them again. But instead, you're like, nah, we have a collection for PS3. You're going to stream them. All right. They did the same thing with Sly Cooper, and I played through those. So I'm going to play through these. You get a little and they take a little. Okay. But this is good news for me. I'm excited for this.
Yeah, for sure. I think it's definitely good news. I'm not going to upgrade to premium for it, but I really do love Ratchet and Clank, and I think that it's a fantastic franchise that deserves all of the love and more. So, alrighty, Ethan. Last news story of the day. I will give you
Yes.
the option on whether you want to read that synopsis or not out loud.
Oh yeah, I can do that.
I'll let you choose, but go ahead.
All right. The Callisto Protocol debuts a 6-part prequel podcast. Developer Striking Distance Studios is partnering with Krafton and IGN to release a scripted prequel podcast called The Callisto Protocol Helix Station to get fans ready for the game's release. The first 2 episodes have already premiered as of November 3rd. Each new 25-minute episode following will be released each Thursday up until the game's release. You can listen to the podcast anywhere you get your podcasts normally. The official synopsis of the podcast states Percy and Kane are 2 of the most ruthless and feared skip tracers in the Jovian system. Their day jobs, if you want to call it that, is to track down the most valuable bounties they can find from Ganymede to Io to Europa Station, and all points in between, all the time, trying to stay one step ahead of the United Jupiter Corporation. The 2 have just completed a particularly grisly mission when their ship is abruptly commandeered by officers from the Black Iron Prison on the Jovian moon Callisto. Intro a slick veteran Metzger and the pompous rookie Pendergast. Wow, what a name. And so-called offer they can't refuse. Accompany the officers to Helix Station and help retrieve an escaped prisoner, a terrorist named Lennox, and receive a once-in-a-lifetime bounty. Percy's not so sure. Helix Station was once a sprawling metropolis, but when the core leaked, it became uninhabitable. Percy knows the station well, and all the drugs in the galaxy haven't helped her forget. She has a guilty secret, and one that she'd like to keep buried. I do want to say I listened to the first episode of this. It's
Really?
pretty cool. Yeah, I like it.
Yes.
It's like
I'm so
listening
excited
to
about this.
it's like listening to a really good like audiobook. It's awesome. I'm
Yes.
really enjoying
Okay,
it.
I'm 100% going to be listening to this. One of my favorite podcasts of all time that I've ever listened to is the Halo podcast that they released. That was that story-based podcast. It was so freaking good, and I've been jonesing for something like that, and I'm really hoping that this hits that itch because it's kind of like a same-ish genre, even though it's like more horror. I can't wait to listen to this. I'm so glad I found this news story because I'm very excited about this.
Yeah. Kevin?
I have no interest in this.
You listen to so many podcasts, Kevin. You're the king of podcasts.
6 episodes. Come on, Kevin.
It's 25 minutes.
Yeah.
Are you going to play Callisto Protocol?
No. No.
Okay.
No,
Well,
yeah,
then-
Kyle will play it. Most of the people play it. It's just not my type of horror game. I also I don't like they're doing a Hellblade 2 podcast right now about like the making of Hellblade. And like Hellblade is one of my favorite games of all time. I still won't listen to that podcast. Like it all just podcasts, pre-release podcasts come off as just marketing to me. It's just a new wave of marketing, and it doesn't feel sincere to me, and that isn't the type of podcasting I like to listen to. So I just if it gets more people excited for your game, great. I'm not the target audience for this.
I think this is good at building hype and giving insight into the story. So I'm excited about it.
I like pre-release comic books for me personally. I think that's the best way to do it. podcast is pretty cool because it's free, but the comic books like Assassin's Creed Valhalla had a bunch before release, and I really enjoyed reading those. That was a lot of fun. But I'll take a podcast. This seems pretty cool. I'm excited to keep
So
listening.
cool. I'm very excited. Okay, well, that wraps up our news stories for the day. We're running a little bit long here, so we're only going to do one question just because it's relevant for this week. But for our Limitless, do you think God of War is going to be your personal game of the year? We're not talking about is it going to win game of the year across all of the news stations or anything. We're not discussing that. Your personal game of the year.
For me, it's going to be a really hard toss-up because Elden Ring was such an incredible experience. For me right now, Elden Ring sits as my game of the year. And there's a lot of games that are still contending in the top 5 for me. I have a list. I have to narrow it down before our episode. But God of War Ragnarok, I see no reason why it's not going to break my top 5 for the year. I guarantee you this will be on my top 5. Will it be game of the year? It's hard for me to say yes because of how incredible Elden Ring was to me. I'm hard pressed to think because I just recently wrapped up God of War 2018 and that was an incredible game. And from what I hear of this is just kind of a continuation of God of War 2018 with some enhancements, some different gameplay features, maybe a longer story, more exploration, which that sounds great. So factoring that all in though, I still don't think that's going to break through Elden Ring for me personally. So I'm going to say if it's probably going to come in at 2 or 3 for me for the year. So we'll have to wait and see until I get my hands on it. I doubt it's going to beat Elden Ring though.
Yeah, for sure.
Listen, it's gonna take something really special to beat a Plague Tale Requiem for me. Plague Tale Innocence was one of my favorite games, not just of 2019, but of all time. And as much as I love God of War 2018, and I do love God of War 2018, I think it's a masterpiece. I don't put it in my like top 10 games of all time. Like, it's a great game. It's just not one of my favorite games of all time. Ragnarok, well, obviously I haven't played it yet. The hype is palpable. I don't know. I'm sure I'm going to love it. I am sure it's going to be amazing. It very well could be my game of the year this year. I can't commit to that, but it's going to have a very tough time being like, sorry, Amicia and Hugo, but I'm going with Kratos and Atreus.
Yeah, it's gonna be tough.
I just don't know personally if I can say that. So for me, I don't think so. But I'm willing to give it a shot. All right.
Yeah. See, my question, the thing that's up in the air for me is I'm very much susceptible to like hype. So my question is like Kevin said, the hype right now is palpable. So my question isn't like whether like I don't know. I'm worried that I'm gonna get swept away by the hype, not in like a bad way, but in like this may just end up being my game of the year because of all of like the pop culture and like it's going to be a fantastic game. There's no way like that it's not, especially with like all of the reviews that have just been released. There's no way it's not going to be a fantastic game. The question is it going to edge over Elden Ring? And I think that hype factor may edge it over. I'm not sure. I mean,
think back to the hype before Elden Ring, Brie.
The hype before Elden Ring was
bigger, I think, than Ragnarok. I would say the hype for Elden Ring was some of the biggest since Cyberpunk 2077.
God,
on that same level of hype.
They're just going to be neck and neck. And what's so difficult about Elden Ring versus God of War, because this is going to be the battle for me, is 100% between these two games. The thing that's like is really just going to be so difficult about this war is that they're completely different games.
Yeah.
And when I say they're like, they are just genuinely like so far apart from each other in every way and in terms of experience that it's just going to be so difficult to put them against each other for like game of the year votes. But like at some point we're going to have to make a vote. Yeah. So I don't think it's going to edge out Elden Ring for me, but I'm leaving the possibility open because I can feel the hype train coming and sweeping me away. So we'll see what happens. I'm very excited about this, and I'm really mad I watched that one trailer. I wish I hadn't even seen that trailer. I'm very excited about it.
I've watched
Let
like
us-
every piece of Ragnarok content that's been put out on YouTube. Yeah.
No way, I'm out, man. I'm
I've
like,
already
no,
watched the
please.
reviews. I've watched that. I'm not super big with spoilers. I'm more about the
Mm,
journey. You know what I mean? I
yeah,
just care about the game.
yeah, for sure. Uh, it's gonna be a good
3
time this week,
days.
you guys.
Oh,
Oh
it's
my
nuts.
god. I can't think about it because I'll just get too excited. I can't think about it.
Wait, this comes out on Tuesday, right?
Yep.
Tomorrow. For everyone listening.
No, today.
Wait, today?
Yeah, like, well, so today's Sunday, right? And it
Right.
comes
And it
out
comes
on
out on Wednesday.
Wednesday. Oh yeah, tomorrow. You're right. You're right.
Oh,
I was
you
like,
scared me there for a second. I'm like, what
Well,
day is it?
midnight
Yeah, me
midnight
too.
Tuesday, if you really
Yeah,
want, you know.
midnight.
Oh,
Yeah,
you
midnight
get-
Tuesday. So really. Yes, I'm so excited about this. Okay, well, thanks so much everybody for listening. Let us know if you think God of War is going to be your personal game of the year before playing it, of course. That's the spirit intended behind the question.
Yeah.
Before playing it, do you think it's going to be your game of the year? Okay. I will let everybody go, but before I do, you can find us on YouTube at Save the Game Media. And don't forget to check out our Discord if you want to hang out. The links are in the description for Extra Life, for our Discord, for all of that fun stuff. We just had somebody join the Discord today. Shout out to them, but come hang out with us. Where can people find you, Ethan?
Discord. Come talk to us.
Kevin, where can people find you?
You can find me at the Muffin Man on Twitter. It's a 1-7I and 0-7A. Follow us at Save Game Media on Twitter to stay up to date with all of our latest videos.
We also have an Instagram, which I didn't know about until recently. So you can
Yeah,
follow us on Instagram too if you want, or TikTok.
Yeah, I don't know how much I'm on. Yeah, TikTok. You can. We're on TikTok. We're on lots of stuff. We're on Facebook. If you use
Facebook.
Facebook, we're on Facebook.
Really? I didn't
everything.
know that one.
Yeah,
All
we
right. You can find me at Fabulous Brianna. Pretty much anywhere. I'm not on MySpace. Never been on MySpace, so you can't find me there. But
You gotta make a MySpace.
I've never had one. I'm like kind of
Me
scared at
neither.
this point.
You can't get a MySpace. Doesn't even anything. What?
Yes, it
No.
does. Go to myspace.com right now. I swear to God.
We're done with this. All right.
All right, guys. Until next time, have a wonderful week.
Bye.